Hi, I'm Mark Rodgers with Hillcrest Farms. We're milking 340 milk cows in 5 dealer valve robots. We're farming 850 total acres here in Deering, Georgia. All dairies use a pretty good bit of water. All that water, all the flush water, any water we cool cows with, all the water from the robots, everything goes into the same system. This is our sustainable sand and manure separation system. So we're going to talk about how we do this in Georgia. Some of this is our own design, some of it was by the NRCS engineers, and some of it was by Jake Martin and Associates down in Florida, our engineer. Everything is there, goes down with the manure, and we separate out sand first. Cows kick out about 25 pounds of sand per cow per day. We know that. We're going to actually separate it. That's one thing I really love about this barn with the water and the sand is that we're going to use gravity to flush it, and we're going to use UV light to clean the sand, keep rotating it. And you can see we're flushing a lane right now. But as we do this, everything is captured, and then we separate it all back out. We clean the sand back up, then we clean the manure away from the water, and then we put the water into the ponds and bring it back up and either use it for irrigation or to reflush the barn. So everything is right here. We're not going to waste a drop, but we're not going to have a drop go anywhere we don't want it to go. So our barn is sloped 1.5%. I wish I'd have made it 2 in retrospect, but 1.5 works pretty good here. So it's actually 7 foot higher at the upper end. Our barn is 482 foot long. It's 456 feet to the edge where the sand separation area is. We actually chose to put all this under roof. A lot of dairies would stop the barn there, but that helps from that evening sun shining in and not hitting our cows. So we did it for the benefit of the cows more than any other reason. An added benefit was that by doing that, when it's rainy weather, which we have a lot of in Georgia, we're actually under a barn trying to get up used sand with our skid steer, and you're not getting as wet. The barn, each of the main 4 lanes, one of them's gonna flush about every 45 minutes. So when that water comes down, it's gonna bring any sand they kicked out, and that sand comes down, the waste, the manure comes down as well. And when it gets to this spot, we turn it and we slow it down. We drop it to a 1% slope right here. And by making the turn and slowing it down, and it goes to a much wider area, the sand tends to fall out right here, right at the end of the barn. So we flush it with recycled water at about 8 a.m. in the morning, and we'd take that sand with the skid steer about 8 o'clock, and we'd put it in a small stack. And so we'd let that stack drain for about 24 hours, and the next day we would actually move that stack and then put the next day's sand there, and we keep constantly rotating the sand. If any sand makes it any further down the lane, it tends to get a little dirty. We actually take that sand every day and bring it back up and rewash it. It helps us to retain 95% or more of our own sand. And what we've seen over 10 years is every year we tend to purchase less sand because the sand we retain was the very coarse sand, and it stays in the system. And you know, people ask me, does it hurt their hooves or anything like that? Well, it gives them really good traction on that rubber flooring. I got asked why we chose to do gravity separation over mechanical. For us, you know, gravity doesn't break down. So, you know, we're not having to clean screens. And like I said, I've been impressed at how more efficient the system has become with age. Now, sand is its own headaches. I mean, sand eats through pipes, it'll eat through metal. It's rough on skid steers. It's rough on robotic milkers. So there are some downsides to sand, but sand seems to always be the gold standard for cow comfort in those beds.